Good morning, traveling biscuits. Not that you are traveling. I'm not sure why I opened it that way. I think because today I'm talking about airlines. I was chatting with you biscuits on Instagram, bringing this up, that we had an absolutely terrible experience with Alaska Air. And normally I think of them as like one of my safe go-tos after I've stopped flying other airlines, because some airlines, customer service, mainly baggage handling, has gotten so bad that it's comical and I just won't fly with them. Like, I will go out of my way because I just know that anything I check or gate check is going to get destroyed, and I'm just not willing to do that. And I always thought of Alaska's a little bit better than that. But flying with them now post-COVID stuff, oh my god, I've had 2 really bad experiences with Alaska Air now in a row. First one that we had, and I'm going to share some of the stories that you told me too, because I feel like I'm not alone in feeling like Alaska has gone downhill, if we're putting it nicely, recently. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's just, it's such a hiring crunch right now. I feel like it's just so hard to find anybody to do anything, so maybe they're running into that problem. I don't know. It's crazy. The first thing we had is they had way overbooked the flight by like a ton of people, and I mean, they were scrambling, and then they had to change their plane, so everybody got moved. None of the parents were sitting with kids. I didn't get sat with my 7-year-old son, who had a big meltdown and like went kind of catatonic like he does when he gets really stressed, and was about to puke on the other passengers. And it was chaos. Other parents didn't get to sit with their little kids. It was insane. I don't understand what happened. It wasn't explained to anybody. Everybody was furious on the plane because no one got sat to get together, even if they had paid for their tickets to be together. It wasn't explained to. We were super late boarding. Like, it was such a negative experience, and no one was trying to like find a good solution, and maybe that's why everybody was so mad on that flight. And then we flew home from Orlando on Alaska, and I gate checked our stroller, and they like ripped the stroller apart. I don't know what they did to it. I really don't. Like, when I got it, I don't understand how they were this rough with it, unless they were like purposely trying to destroy it for fun. So they lost part of the stroller. They like ripped off part of the stroller and lost it. It's gone. They ripped off other parts of the stroller, but somehow that made it. Beat up the stroller. And then the airline, to top it all off, has decided that in no way are they going to replace or apologize for ripping the thing apart. Clearly it was my fault because I decided to gate check a stroller. So I should kick rocks and, tough nuts to be you, passenger. It was so poorly handled. I'm shocked by how bad the customer service was, that if you are thinking about flying Alaska with kids and you plan to bring a stroller, don't do it. It was amazingly bad. I mean, you're better off flying Allegiant. I've checked the stroller with Allegiant, and they've taken better care of it. And Allegiant is like, if you aren't in America, a little budget airline that people make fun of, which they shouldn't, because all airlines are needed, except for apparently Alaska. It was just a shockingly bad experience. And it's funny, like, as we kind of get back into travel and going places and wanting to see things and, trying to make the decision of, do you fly more budget airlines? Do you fly more mainstream airlines, which I kind of think of Alaska as a mainstream airline? What kind of works for our family? What gets us to where we want to go? And, I travel for work frequently before the pandemic, and now we're kind of slowly kind of tiptoeing back into that. And I gotta say, if you biscuits thought flying was bad before the pandemic, I feel like it has ratcheted up in how bad it is. Just like several notches above where it used to be in horribleness. It is so funky right now. I had to drink some water there. Just the thought of flying now. So currently we've only been doing little in the US flights. We haven't done any international flights. So I'm going to come back on, I'm going to update you on our experiences, because I would love for more honest feedback. I feel like sometimes the only people you hear feedback from are like travel vloggers or, if travel Instagrammers who are being paid by airlines to promote them, so you don't actually know like how good are they. If you're just flying regular economy class, what's the experience? And oh my goodness, the stories I was hearing from you. So I'm going to paraphrase some of these because some of you have very naughty language, which I don't blame you for. I think what I've been hearing is a ton of stuff having to be gate checked at the last minute. Like they overbook so there's not enough carry-on and they're just destroying your bags. Lost car seats seem really common. And it's horrifying because you get somewhere and it is actually needed. Despite what the airline says, a stroller and car seat when you're traveling with little people is actually a necessary thing. And I know they don't think of that because it's something they don't charge for. And I don't know, do they just want to charge $5 so they'll stop destroying our stuff? That seems like the consensus. People would be willing to pay $5 to gate check their car seats or strollers if you promise not to destroy them. That seems like one of the biggest consensus from messaging you biscuits on Instagram is just please stop destroying our things. You know, Alaska, your customer service has gone downhill. This is pretty much across the board what I'm hearing. I'm not going to mention the other airlines. I'm going to do other airlines in a different video because, oh my goodness, are there a lot of feelings on airlines and how they treat their passengers? What do you biscuits think? I would love to hear from you. Do you think, is it like a regulatory thing? Do airlines treat us like this because they can get away with it? Is it just an interpersonal thing where airline employees are just mean to passengers? Is it because, you know, they've had some bad passengers or a lot of bad passengers and so it's just kind of soured them to all passengers? Like, whose fault is it? And more importantly, how do we get a solution? Because travel is a beautiful thing to introduce your family to. It's a really nice thing. You know, there are ways to do it on really good budgets so that even a big family can go to little spots and have these experiences that really bond you and bring you closer and open your children's eyes to just, you know, the fortune and gratitude of living a beautiful life, right? It teaches you to be more in the moment when you travel. And that should be something that's accessible to tons of families. And airlines destroying your things makes it that much harder. You know, I'm lucky that I can afford to go replace the piece of the stroller they ripped off. It's going to take a long time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a replacement because, you know, supply chain issues. And it's like a major part of the stroller that we regularly use. But there are families that you destroy their stroller. This is their stroller. What are they going to function? Especially on a trip, like what can you do? You know, we kind of lucked out that it happened on the leg coming home, I guess. But, you know, here I've been without a stroller for weeks. Which, you know, when you have a little person and you're trying to get a lot done, it can be a hassle. So really think about who you're booking with when you're booking airlines. That's one of my travel tips. If you are a digital nomad parent, if you are a travel vlogger parent and you are trying to figure out, you know, what's going to be the friendliest airline to travel with kids, there are airlines that are definitely nicer and more thoughtful about bringing kids on board. And they handle your things better. And oddly enough, I find that those tend to be the international legs of flights. Domestic flights here in the States are just kind of pretty terrible, and I don't actually know the reason why. I am not well informed enough to know. I just thought I would share this experience because so many of you lit up when I mentioned this on my stories that I thought, okay, we are not alone in having our things destroyed, thanks Alaska, by airlines that really clearly just do not care. Which is disappointing as a passenger because, you know, you want to have a favorite airline. You want to have airlines that you regularly fly on. It is a pain. Oh my goodness. So biscuits, tell me your solutions in the comments. I want to hear, do you have an absolutely brilliant idea that would solve this? Because I feel like that's worth putting out into the universe and seeing. Maybe something awesome will come about from that. Okay, biscuits. We'll trash talk some more airlines. I try to keep my content very positive, and I hope this isn't too negative of a topic. I just feel like so much in the travel content creator thing is like paid for advertisements that you kind of don't know what you're getting, and you don't really get reviews of things. So I thought as we kind of tiptoe out into doing a few more trips and things, that'll give you honest reviews of stuff that, you know, I pay out of pocket for these tickets, right? Like, I'm just kind of curious, what's the experience going to be post-COVID traveling as a family? And if you know of any other travel vloggers that are giving really honest reviews, let me know. I would love to get more insider tips from people that are not being paid to say, oh, it's great here, this works wonderful. And then when you deal with the actual company, they just treat you like dirt, which is, not a pleasant thing. Okay, I'm going to see you over on Instagram. We'll chat more about this in stories because I feel like this is a hot topic for this summer. I'll see you around. Thanks for coming along for our trash talking of mean airlines, because you know what? They can do better